In less than a day, I hop on a plane to LA to debut the new Prius for everyone on the channel. In the meantime, we're hearing more things about the Prius coming from Japan, as well as Toyota's last teaser of the all-new Prius before it's finally revealed. Over at Toyota's global Twitter page, we have a new teaser, but let's get up to speed already on what they've teased us. So here's the outline. We know it's going to have a little bit wider hips. And here, of course, here's a Japanese reveal date. We also had this teaser showing the headlights. We have this teaser showing a little bit more depth to those rear hips on the wheels, as well as possibly the door handle inside of this area, because we don't see it on the door here. Also, here was the teaser just from a couple days ago showing the very wide and aggressive front stance of this vehicle, the very aggressive daytime running lights, the Toyota badge sitting on top instead of being kind of like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer sort of badge on the very front and tip of the vehicle. Very strong hood lines, just a very wide and sporty stance on this vehicle. And here's the newest teaser. We have Prius across the back of this vehicle. It will span the rear lift gate. And yes, the Prius will continue to be a hatchback. And we also have a light bar that continues to go across. We also have this kind of teardrop design that has been shown in a previous render by Best Car Web. So let's check out these previous renders. Here it is. Look at the accuracy in which this vehicle was rendered. I guess, what was this, back in the spring or something, maybe even earlier, by Best Car out of Japan. And just look how similar they got it. Now, it's not 100% accurate, but man, the general outlines and the general styling cues are spot on here versus one over the other. Even the Toyota badge being very small and taking kind of like a minor role over the Prius badging, which the Prius badging is not on this render here, but they probably knew about it. They can't be too accurate. They have to have some things incorrect. Here's the front. I think this is probably going to be as accurate as it gets until we see the final reveal. Again, that rear handle integrated into the C-pillar area, very smooth looking. And I want to go over another thing that I failed to go over in previous videos, is the overall outline here of the Prius. Here is the current 4th generation, and you can just see how doofy this top one looks over the new one. You can see how the majority of the weight of this vehicle seems to be pulled back. The A-pillar is much more inclined rearwards, and there's very little difference between the angle of the hood and the angle of the windshield. Where you see on the old Prius or the current Prius, you have this massive front window, and it really tapers off after that. It seems like the apex of the body line, or the silhouette, I should say, is probably right over the B pillar or even behind the B pillar. Well, where here it's right between the A pillar and the B pillar. So the overall presence of this vehicle is going to be completely different from the outgoing Prius. The hood looks longer, which a longer hood typically equates to a better looking vehicle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a slightly longer wheelbase as well here. Now we're at Japanese scoop site Creative 311. We've had other information from them before. It looks like there is a confirmation of the 3 powertrains. Definitely wait for the next couple of days where I can share official numbers, range, miles per gallon, horsepower, those sort of things. Hopefully we get that information when it's revealed. But they're saying in Japan, the 1.8 liter is only going to be available for leasing in Japan. We don't know if we're going to get every single powertrain here. I wouldn't be surprised if they just bring the 2-liter hybrid as well as the 2-liter plug-in hybrid here stateside, because our needs here are a little bit greater in terms of acceleration and speed versus what it is in Japan. Now, the 1.8 liter is what we currently have, but they're updating it, and they are mentioning now E4 on both the 1.8 liter, which is the 4-wheel drive. They put an electric motor in the back. So not only on the 1.8 liter, but also the 2-liter. And it looks like the plug-in hybrid, the Prius Prime is what we call it here, will stick to front-wheel drive only. I guess it becomes a difficulty adding all-wheel drive with such a small vehicle with such a large battery pack. So that would be my guess why it is sticking to front-wheel drive only for the plug-in hybrid, but definitely wait for the official announcement. Maybe we get something special here in North America for this plug-in, but I highly doubt it. They're saying in Japan, you cannot lease the 2-liter or the plug-in hybrid variants. It looks like it's only for purchasing, such as either financing or paying cash, for example. Now, you can't really compare grade levels to grade levels in different markets, but it looks like Z would be equivalent to what we would see in a limited trim here. So if we get the 1.8 liter, it's probably like an LE and an SE trim, whereas the 2 liter would be XLE and XSE sort of setup. Maybe they get rid of the limited trim because those features could be incorporated into an XSE, if that makes sense. Just take it with a grain of salt. So while Japan is getting X, U, G, and Z grades, I won't be surprised if we see one or two more like LE, XLE. We have the Eco with the current Prius. You're going to have the Limited. So it'll be fun to see what kind of grades they come with the new Prius. I think they'll have quite a bit, to be honest. And lastly, going over the powertrains here, this is what I'm expecting from the 1.8 liter, assuming we get it. Somewhere between 134 to 138 horsepower, 65 miles per gallon potentially, front wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This is the same setup we see in the new Corolla Hybrid, for example. Hopefully it comes in at the current starting price of the current generation, around $25K, but I won't be surprised if it goes up. The 2 liter, which is a brand new setup for the Prius, but we've seen it in the Corolla Cross and the Lexus UX before, up to 197 horsepower in some markets. It will produce 194 horsepower. Expect 0 to 60 on something like this around 7.5 seconds, I would say. 58 miles per gallon potentially, and you can get this in all-wheel drive as well. And I would probably expect this to start at 30K, maybe topping out around 35K on those top trims. But the big dog in town, the new Prius Prime, should be getting an update and upgrade. 250 horsepower sounds too good to be true. It could be stalled out around 200 horsepower. So hopefully we'll get more information on this in just a couple of days from now. 47 miles per gallon. Yes, the efficiency goes down because you have a much bigger battery pack than the outgoing. I think the outgoing Prius Prime was around 9 kilowatt hours. So I'm expecting a larger battery pack, and we could be getting up to 40 miles of fully electric range, which is a big step up from something in the mid 20s, if I remember correctly, on the outgoing Prius Prime. Expect this to start around 35K, probably top out around 40K. This thing would be pretty, I mean, all these grades are going to be pretty amazing, especially with the new design. Can't wait to see the new Prius, guys. Got to cut myself off. I don't want to ramble on too long because I made so many Prius videos, but you guys really seem to appreciate them. So if you're excited for the new Prius, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my walk around, my hands-on impressions of the all-new 5th generation Toyota Prius for 2023. My bags are packed for me to head to LA tomorrow, so I can't wait to sit inside and give you guys a tour of the new Prius. Anyways, have a great day. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Peace out.